Cheerio. Uh, Thank you for watching. I'm a little bit salty. I got suspended for 24 hours again. I offended someone. Can you imagine being a person who is so shallow and weak that another person's words offend them? Let's all give a big shout out to Maria. Thank you, Maria. She made sure that any emergencies were taken care of since the North Koreans. Ooh, I meant since YouTube wouldn't allow me to respond for a day. Anyway, so you're going to be excited. And this one's going to take some time. I stole a video. I'll put the link below if I remember. And I want to talk about it. I'm going to show you some clips and things. I want to say a couple things first. No one here on this channel is happy that Shannon died. I mean, duh. We're not glad about any of this. We're not dissing the woman. But you never know. There could be another woman who is very similar to Shannon, and she watches some of this and she thinks, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't buy. I was going to pick something up. I shouldn't buy something because it's actually going to hurt our family, and our mortgage is more important. Uh, Shannon, in all of her videos, this chick is online all the time. I'm shocked there's not a video of her urinating. Her nails always look great. My nails look like junk right now. And it's not because I can't afford it, it's because I don't have the time. But she put those fingernails in front of her mortgage. I mean, her mortgage. Goodness, they had already declared bankruptcy. The dining room table. Oh my goodness. I assume you know why there was no dining room table. They bought all that furniture in the house for the house. They bought it on credit, and very few companies came back to get their merchandise. However, the dining room table company did. I would love to know what she told her friends about why there was no dining room table. Okay, so I'm going to play this clip. It's not very long, 10, 12 seconds or something. And then I want to talk about it.
Excited about something, you could call her definitely that person. She was an amazing cook. She was made to be a mother, so you could tell just they were her life.
She's a hard worker.
Okay, so that's Lauren, a friend of Shannon's for a long time, and she did not have very many friends. So let's be glad Lauren was her friend. But she starts with what a great cook she was. What? Never heard that. You guys remember when she was baking the cookies? There were no cookies baked. Another way we know for a fact that entire scene was staged because there were no photos of the cookies afterwards. Uh, Chris admits that the girls ate butter noodles or chicken nuggets for dinner. Don't forget, they were eating dinner early enough to be in bed by 6:30 because my goodness, we had to get the Tylenol and the Benadryl in those girls. Get them upstairs where their bedrooms had the room darkening curtains because at 6:30 at night in Colorado in the summer, it's still pretty bright out. Remember, Colorado's higher, not higher like smoking pot high, higher elevation. The sun gets to them before they get to Washington, D.C. But my goodness, those children needed to be in bed by 6:30. Drugged them up. I find that funny that Amanda was going to keep the girls the following weekend. I need a tissue. I'm sorry. My nose is itching. Uh, Excuse me. Amanda was going to keep the girls the following weekend. Was Shannon going to tell her to drug the girls up and put them to bed at 6:30? And do you think Amanda would have done that? I mean, Amanda, they had a child. They had a 5-year-old at the time. I don't think they were drugging the 5-year-old up. Uh, Sandy. Is that Chris's mom's name? Sandy. Sandy. No, Sandy was Shannon's mom. Cindy was Chris's mom. What's up with all the E's? Cindy, Sandy. Cindy was uncomfortable with the drugging of the children. If Chris had any testicles, he would have said something about that. So, when Bella was 6 months old, Bella was born in December. When she was 6 months old, Shannon's parents ended up moving to Colorado. So that quickly, this family realized they were in a very, very bad situation. Why did they buy that gigantic house in the first place? There were only two of them. Ladies, you know what? And guys, if you're going to get married, live with your wife or your husband for a few years before you have children. Make sure that the two of you work out before you bring a new human into the life. But nope, Shannon got pregnant right away. I mean, remember, they were engaged within 1 year and they were married within 1 year. To me, I think that's excessive. Excessive. You know what? I just felt my necklace. I should put my Christmas necklace out. Uh, she bought Chris that stupid supercharger for his car, which was about $3,500 because she couldn't get pregnant. You know, they tried for 3 months and couldn't get pregnant. Look, I was fortunate. I peed on the stick, ovulation test, 2 lines. I was pregnant. I was very fortunate. But I don't think 3 months is to the point where you start worrying. I mean, oh, should we go get IVF or whatever it's called, infertility treatment? Okay. Another thing about her parents moving there, she charged them $1,000 a month rent. They were still paying the mortgage on their own home back in North Carolina. She also forced them to live in the basement. Now, I would not want my parents, well, shoot, I wouldn't want my parents living with me, but I definitely would not want them on the same floor, the same level as myself. And I assume all of you agree. But Shannon had a great office with a bathroom right next door to it on the main level. Why didn't she put her parents there? But instead, she stuck them down in the unfinished basement. I, I don't know how her mother and father did that. I get up to pee every single night at least once. Sometimes I get up twice to pee. Can you imagine getting up? They must have had what was it called? A chamber pot down there. Do you know that my mother, God rest her soul, uh, her when she would go visit her grandparents, they had chamber pots and chamber pots in the house and an outhouse outside. And my mother and her sister would try to hold it all day long because they didn't want to use the outhouse. They'd rather go in the chamber pot. Can you even imagine having to use a chamber pot? Goodness. Uh, our girl Shannon would post pictures of herself going to the gym, or she talks about it in this thing I've stolen, which is linked below. She talks about going to the gym. Well, you know how we know she didn't go to the gym? Because there weren't any pictures of her at the gym. Chris admits that in the Wisconsin interview. Uh, this girl cared so much about what other people thought about her. What, why? What do you care? If you don't, if someone doesn't like you, you move on. Life is short. Goodness. I don't really know how to say this. So this girl obviously had serious mental issues. Serious mental issues. I'm not in the middle of my screen. Uh, but to lie about having lupus, there's something wrong with that. There's something seriously wrong with that. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I've been in two comas. I was in a coma for 18 days and then one for 10 days. When I very first got sick, I spent the first 184 nights in the hospital out of 18 months. First 18 months, 184 nights I lived in the hospital. It's nothing to brag about. I'm very fortunate to be alive. I have 35 inches of scars on my belly. If you go way, way back in my videos, I post a picture of my belly because that chick who's not on there, not on here anymore, Mensa or something, she called me a liar. She's like, "You've never had surgery." I was like, "What? Hello, I didn't just make these scars up." And if someone you know is in a coma, go talk to them because, well, I think they hear it. I I remembered things. It took a month or two after the coma. This is the second coma that I started dreaming about things. My brother-in-law would come to the hospital and read the sports page to me. Did it a couple of times. And in my dream, I'm I can see above the hospital bed and Kevin's just sitting there reading the sports page to me. I'm a big sports girl. My girlfriends came one day and painted my toenails and washed my hair. And I don't have any genuine recollection of this, but I can see it above my head. Okay, the man just walked in. Honey, I'm filming right now. But why would you tell people you have lupus if you don't? She played on that. But then what? So that is called Munchausen. If you inflict fake injuries on another person, that is called Munchausen by proxy. Thank you for buying the water crackers. We do charcuterie here in the evenings, and thank you. We're having swordfish for dinner. I'm gonna make some swordfish. Thank you for going to the store. And the water crackers ran out. I said, sweetheart, I'm okay with saltines. They're too expensive. And I opened the pantry today and there are water crackers. See what a good man I have. I got lucky. Anyway, so Munchausen by proxy is when you take your fake illnesses out on someone else. Think about those children. They'd they'd all been to the ENT 14 times. Think about this. You know those girls would have been vaccinated and boosted. Oh, got to be careful. Don't want to get another strike. She did that to her children, and she did it for attention. She was that desperate for attention. She was willing to inflict pain and struggle on someone else. You know, she had to take them to the doctor, and that inflicted pain on her. We all know, where were those kids during the day? They were in daycare. So for Shannon to actually have to put her phone down and take the kids to a doctor, that was drama. So that's why I'm half confused as to why she did that as well. I believe Shannon surrounded herself with people she could manipulate. Watch this. I'll be right back.
All of it played. I think it played a huge role in my everything. So, but then the thing about me that is different than just different about me is I've never given up. A lot of you know my part of my story, health challenges, bad relationships, things that could have knocked somebody down completely hardcore. But the thing is I believe that everything in life happens for a reason, and I also believe people are placed in our life for a reason. And I remember when I went through something major in my life, good relationship, gone bad, and I remember coming out feeling the weakest I've ever felt in my life. Like I was no good. I wasn't good enough. My insecurities got deeper, stronger, and I felt like I was not worthy. I've met so many people in my life that have helped me through all of that, helped me build my confidence, helped me. You just have to surround yourself with people that want better for you, just like they do for themselves. Like you're on top.
I believe that Shannon prefers to surround herself with people she is able to manipulate. Yeah, Obviously, when you're making a video, I don't know if you've ever made a video, you can see yourself. Look at my little cheeks. Aren't they cute? It's like a little perky butt. Never noticed that before. Don't worry about. Oh, it smiles like, oh, my cheeks look like a little perky butt, not a big gross Kim Kardashian butt. That's gross. I think that's disgusting. I don't understand any of that. Anyway, can't remember what channel it was. It's a big one. It wasn't true crime, the shrink guy. But someone attributes Chris saying like to hanging out with NK. Shannon says like all the time. Like, oh my goodness, like I'm gonna put my kids like to bed like at 6:30, and I'm gonna like drug them up with Benadryl, and I'm also gonna like film my kids like all the time, and like I'm gonna tell them what to say, Bella, say this, and when my kids are hungry, I'm gonna ignore them, because it's more important that I'm filming. Shannon says like all the time. So whatever channel you are, if you're watching this, you're wrong. The deep post on the back porch that I just showed you, that makes me uncomfortable. The- You know what? What's the Prince Harry? He's out there talking about getting frostbite on his wanker. You, there are things you don't talk about, and she gets creepy to me. I don't like how she's kind of trying to show her little boobies. Well, she has boobs. I'm the one with the little boobies. I don't like that. But to me, this woman doesn't. She has not figured out what should be personal and what should be public. You guys remember that Shannon bought a great big, huge house in Charlotte, North Carolina, back when she was working for the Dirty South people, the people who claim she embezzled from them. A, why did she buy that house? It was status. She wanted this is well, to me, status is your bank account. Wouldn't it have been better to put all that money into your bank account? But I don't know if you guys all know this. I'm not getting political at all. This has nothing to do with politics. But during the Clinton administration, they made a law, excuse me. They were trying to increase home ownership. And so they made loans that were, I should have looked it up. It's called like no proof loans, or if you know what I'm talking about, let me know below. But you didn't have to tell the bank or prove to the bank what you how much you earned. All you had to do was tell them what you did for a living. And the bank would look at it and go, "Oh, okay, I'll tell you what, I was a financial analyst and I earned about 145,000 a year." So they type in financial analyst license and it popped up. It probably popped up about 180 because I made a little less than the others because I didn't work as hard. I was a slacker. Man, when that stock market closed at 4 o'clock, my goodness, I was headed towards the train at 4:01. So I could have earned more. That's what I'm saying. I earned that good of a living. So if you bought a house, they just, oh, boom. So that's how she got this house. This house that she ended up making zero, zero on. She also furnished it quite tastefully, the way she did her other house, the Colorado house. I've told you I like the Colorado house. There were just a couple of things I thought were tacky as hell. I didn't like that. I'm talking like Sarah Boone. I didn't like that there were no family photos in the house. Uh, Many videos ago, I was talking about it, and I looked around and counted, and I think we had 7 family photos just from the one place I was sitting. Her house looked more like a model home than it did a home that a family lived in, but a model home without a dining room table. Her parents paid $1,000 a month rent. So let them pay your $1,000, take three-quarters of that. Then the next month they pay you. Then you got 1,500. Go buy yourself a dining room table, you dumb bitch, or get your nails done. Anyway, so she had that big whole house for her status. It was all, I think I used that as the thumbnail in this video, just so other people could say, "Wow, aren't you great?" What did she get at the end of it? Nothing. She left it furnished. The people who bought the home ended up getting almost all of that furniture. She took a couple of things that she wanted. Why didn't she take all of it? Because it costs money to load stuff up into a truck and ship it out to Colorado. She didn't have that money. Remember? She met Chris. She likes to be around people she can manipulate. She met Chris. He claims, he says he was always so nervous because she was so pretty. She's a good looking woman. And that some of the times her makeup she put on horror mode. Um, she didn't have any lips, but that's not really her fault. And Shannon's a good looking woman, but Chris was so nervous because of her beauty. And she saw that and she was like, "Oh, you are clay, and I can model you." Reminds me of Prince Harry's wife. But then she found out he had $20,000 in savings. Done. He's got $20,000 in savings. Hot dog, she hit the jackpot. Okay, if you're still watching, I'm humbled, I'm shocked. Thank you. Hook me up, hit like, hit subscribe. They suspend me all the time now just because I farted wrong or something. So I do need the thumbs up and the subscribes. It helps. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless this America.